Global International Youth Day, and we have the youths in the studio, or young at heart rather, in the studio to really talk about this or look at the International Youth Day 2022, and of course what the youths are doing currently in the nation is something to look forward to. I have with me in the studio an associate head, legal and research justice, Innocent Umezulike Foundation barrister, Ruth Soronade. Good to have you, Ruth.
Thank you.
It's been long. You look so good.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I also have the coordinator, Catch Them Young Community Initiative, Nonso Orakwe. Welcome to the studio, Nonso.
Thank you, Ada Nonya.
All right, barrister, what are your plans this 2022 Youth Day? What are you people up to?
Okay. For this 2022 Youth Day, the theme is intergenerational solidarity. That's encouraging youth, particularly in our clime, Nigeria, as we are preparing for the 2023 election. It's encouraging youths to participate, to throw in their weight fully in this 2023 elections. Before now, we have situations where youths relax and all, but I know after the 2018 bill was passed, I know that more youths have started participating. But in this International Youth Day, the foundation is also encouraging more youths, letting them know why they need to
get involved.
Yes, be part of the political process. And for this 2023 election, that their participation would go a long way in shaping the future of this nation, respect to education, politics, and all. So this is what our foundation is doing at this time, this year.
All right. Now, Nonso, you've been in the forefront. Before now, I know even when the bill was passed, that you were deeply into Not Too Young to Run initiative, and you've been working with the youth here and there, doing one or two things. So tell us, what actually are your plans for this year's International Youth Day?
Okay, just like the theme, my colleague here have said it, intergenerational solidarity. That's creating a kind of a word for all ages. Okay, that word is so, the meaning is so wide. It has a very deep meaning. For all ages, someone can target, is it for the old men too? It captures everybody. But deeply, we are looking at people that can drive the economy, the political system of the entire world. And it's nobody, no group can achieve that if not young people. So it falls that we are speaking power, youths into power. So if we decide to lack, not speaking them into power, we will fall back to what we used to have before Not Too Young to Run bill was passed, where young people were scared. When shall this leaders of tomorrow come? It never came until after 2017, 2018 bill signed into law, Not Too Young to Run. You see, massively young people begin to engage and all of that. So what we are doing today is we also, like my sister said, encourage young people to get more involved into politics. There is a time in life when one's life will be telling you, I am tired, I need to be replaced. Some of our politicians in Nigeria, in Africa, does not like that language, I am tired. They want to remain there till death. In fact, some persons in the past, some died into power. I will die here. And he eventually died. So this time around, young people are encouraged to fall into power. Just take, for instance, what is happening in Anambra State House of Assembly. You know, you can get like 70% young people into that place.
Even in the present administration.
Do you understand? So the present, even the appointments and all that reflected what we are showcasing today. So what we are saying here is that it is high time young people would drop social vices, cultism, a whole lot of things that mask their future, to get involved in the leadership. Sorry, I must still applaud young people for this voter registration exercise. You see, checking the statistics of the registrants, that is people that registered for the PVC, majority are young people. So I want to commend them on that. And also, since we are still talking about youth inclusion, they should not just vote, register and sit back. They should all use the card effectively on the day of election. So what we are saying today is all about inclusion in governance, inclusion in entrepreneurship, inclusion in all nooks and crannies of development in Nigeria and the whole world at large.
Okay, now, for the first time in history, last year saw Nigeria kind of a revolution that sparked last year on hashtag #EndSARS. And after that, it's like something is actually happening in Nigeria amongst the youths. What do you think is going on, especially with what is happening today in the plans to take back the country?
That #EndSARS revolution, it actually started, it was in 2020. Sometimes it's as though 2021 went so fast. So it's as though 2020 was last year. Okay, and I'm glad that the #EndSARS revolution did not just end with 2020. It's coming up with more fervor, that the youths are still taking it up. The passion is still there. Okay, and what this is speaking for the nation is that, we've had, as a young girl growing up, we are told that we are the leaders of tomorrow. But it's as though we recycle the same leaders that we studied in primary school. It's as though they are still the ones somehow in the helm of affairs. But I'm glad that this revolution is ongoing and is still sustained, as in the fervor has not died, the fire has not died down. And it's speaking well for the youth. I just like my colleague said, in the registration, voters registration, we have a good number of youths taking that up. We have a good number of youths organizing rallies on their own. This is the first time in the nation something like that is happening. See what happened in Lokoja last week. Yeah, last week. On their own, see youths taking up. It's as though, the truth is that as a nation, the youths are tired of the status quo. They are tired of the way things are being. Students have been on strike for how many months now? And that was the same thing that happened in 2020. Security issues, so many things. And it's good that, because actually the youths are the voice and the strength of every nation. If they keep quiet, if we keep quiet, it's the future of the nation is at stake. The future of those that are coming behind is also at stake. So I'm actually glad that this revolution is ongoing. And in this International Youth Day, we are encouraging youths everywhere. Please lend your voice. Speak up. Speak out. Don't keep quiet in the face of abnormalities that we are seeing both in governance, in the economy, in education, and all. So I am glad that this is happening at this time, and I trust that the fervor continues till we get something substantial, till we have a nation in Nigeria and Africa and even a world that we are proud of.
Okay, now the theme says intergenerational solidarity. And you will agree with me that some of the things that the youths are doing now, things is like there's a generational gap, so to speak. Like the issue of the level of drug intake amongst the youths, and there are so many other things negatively that the youths venture into, like all these fraudulent activities, Yahoo Yahoo and all whatnot. So when you look at it, it seems there is kind of a generational gap, because when we were much younger, you will agree, there are things in the Bible and I have also. I don't know if we really have so again amongst our young ones. So I don't know, Nonso, what's your take about this particular issue? I know there's been, a lot of groups have been agitating, have been going about talking to youths, trying to reorientate the youth to do the right things or do positive things with their energy. What do you think should be done to really get these youths to the right paths of their forefathers? Let me put it that way. Some of them, actually.
You see, Nonye, we found ourselves in a situation where unemployment, is
it's like a norm.
Is like a norm.
Is the norm.
Is the norm. Okay? So any idle man automatically is a devil workshop. And anywhere you dey work, now there you dey shop. I don't know if you're getting it. Now, if someone is busy with business, doing business, being in the office, doing some skill, programs, I don't see the time the person will have to engage drug, what's it called? Cultism, and so forth and so on. So it is unemployment issue. 1. 2. Apart from unemployment, we look at habits. Not that these habits are not there during our forefathers. They are there. But everybody looks at this, just like you said. If I do this, I don't know what will be the repercussion. I don't know what will come back to me. But now, nobody has conscience again. Reason, sometimes you don't blame these people because there is no job. Why? The people who they are looking up to, I was having a conversation with a young man yesterday who happens to be a member of a political party. And we were chatting because I wanted to use him to get to Oga at the top. And he told me automatically that I've tried to serve this man for years. I've been in this game for years. Up till now, I am stagnant. And now I want to take a bold step. I want to leave him. What am I doing for him? I carry briefcase. I write. He's a good writer. He writes a whole lot of things. After writing, he will be the one to present. The Oga will be the one to present. Okay? The guy now said, I can't do that again. So he wants to get something busy. He now had to carve out something. He now entered into graphics, design, and all of that. People are sending to him. Do you see that scenario? So what I'm saying in essence is this. The part of attitude is peer influence. Someone who is doing well and decide to lose focus. Because if you lose focus, you just decide to lose focus. People doesn't understand the situation that they should work hard. This time around is not working hard. It's all about quick syndrome.
Yes, I was coming to that because you see, most times when you talk with young people, they are much more interested on getting a fleet of car, getting some money in their box, getting the latest iPhone and all whatnot.
So if the system provided a common job for these young people, I don't think it will get all this bad. But nevertheless, there are still solutions. The solution is this. If the system gets it right to checkmate what young people do in the digital world. Now, it's all over, but I know Nigeria. So if the system gets it right to checkmate what happens in the digital world, they will get it right. And orientation like this, at least I know most of my members, the members of Not Too Young to Run and even Vote Not Fight, I can vouch to some extent that these are the people who want to fix Nigeria. These are the people who want to get it better, to the best of my knowledge, because every time we are brainstorming, everybody has something to contribute.
To offer. Okay, now, part of the statement for this year's celebration says, to achieve the sustainable development goals, the world needs to leverage on the full potentials of all generations. So how do you think country Nigeria can key into developing the full potentials of our younger ones to achieve what we needed to achieve?
Okay. For this, one of the first primary ways the nation can leverage on young people to achieve this goal, it's one, in education. That's because it's an enlightened society, an enlightened youth that would act in line with that. Most of the times, we act based on the knowledge, the information that we have at hand. And a situation where a basic right, a basic human right like education is denied young people over time. That I was shocked to hear of a primary school that the teachers are on strike. I don't want to mention where it is, but we are not being paid. It's a government-owned school. And I don't want to talk about ASU strike. That one is general. We all know it. And some of us have siblings. Some of us have children that have been affected by it already. And then, not just formal education, also skill education, empowerment, such as this. And this is what I know some organizations, some NGOs are taking this up. But this is something that everyone should really be involved. I know Honorable Justice Mezilike Foundation is doing that and all. But this is one aspect. If we want to achieve that sustainable development goal, invest in education. Education is enlightenment. It opens up your mind to possibilities. That's one. Then another thing, it's involving youth in governance. There's something responsibility does to you. And that's one of the things that this Youth Day is really trying to achieve. When youths become involved in the day-to-day activities of running from as little as maybe their local government, their community, and higher. As in, when they get involved in it, it's going to be difficult to be involved in keeping your community clean, maybe making decisions that will affect your community positively. And then doing things that are also anti that decision. You see, it's not, it doesn't go together. But when they are involved in it, it would make them see that this is our thing. It is not just that of the elders. It's not just that of the old men, like we've been seeing for a while. It's as though in governance, it's the older generation. They are not giving rooms for the youth to express themselves. And this is one of the things that causes idleness. They are not doing anything. They are not involved. So they can scatter whatever it is that you're building because you're not involving them. Okay? So if they're involved in education, if that's education channels are open to them, and if they're also involved in governance, this would. And then another thing is creating forums for interactions with youths. That's also, it's still part of governance, but once in a while, that's why I like what it's going on presently. Once in a while, get involved youths, not just, that's tertiary institutions, even primary schools, secondary schools get to know their needs. They feel part of the government, they feel part of nation building, and it's going to help checkmate vices in the long run, because you cannot be building something and then also destroying it.
Okay, now so what other areas do you think government can help, or even families, or even individuals can come in to help achieve this in the lives of our youths?
You see, some persons have been involved in youth empowerment programs.
Okay.
I don't need to mention their names, but I know people like that. I've seen people like that in Anambra and also across the nation. Some of these things, I've mentioned skill acquisition earlier, okay. And I know quite a number of young people in Anambra that leveraged on that and become who they are today. And there is one that have even relocated to Abuja, on shoemaking. On shoemaking, he's a shoemaker. So if you look at him, he's good. That's on the part of individual. Government can also leverage on that. I've seen this government doing something on skill acquisition.
Okay, hold it. We need to do something. When we come back, we continue from there. Okay. The program is still Good Morning Anambra, the 2022 International Youth Day. Let's take a short break now, a quick one at that. Let's feel the pulse of the masses. We'll be right back.
Look around us today. What are we seeing? Men that are supposed to have retired and gone to their home to rest are the one ruling the youth. And what are the youth doing? They are clapping for them. They are, playing sycophants, trying to... But if the youth come out to participate in politics, it will give room for innovations. It will give room for youth involvement in so many other things. I can tell you categorically that our youth have been relegated to the background. Why? Because there is no youth in the politics. Go and check all the sectors. Go and check the directors. Check the commissioners. Most of the government officials, they are all men above 50s, 60s. And where are the youth? We are all here looking for job. But if the youth come out today to participate in politics, there will be so much innovations in all sectors of the economy.
It is all about the government being more inclusive in its appointments of youths in political positions, because you know that most times the problem we have is that it appears that youths are being despised, though I have to agree that it's because of the character and the behavior of the youths, some things that ought not to be that come out from the youths, drug abuse and the rest of them, so most persons don't take them seriously. So, but I think that should not rule out the inclusion of youths in the scheme of things. So I think for our political parties and the rest of them, I think if they can create a bigger platform in order to make it more inclusive for the youths in order to participate in politics, I think it will be better.
Even if that the youths participate, I don't see any much they can do, although they will have a little change, but not entirely change in the whole system. Sorry. And again, the thing have been corrupted from top to the bottom. So I think it's going to take a little while to correct that. But now, we really need youth to participate in governance, governor, presidential, and and senator and House of Rep. I think the old people that has been there for a very long time, they have exhausted what they have to offer. So we need change. The change I'm talking about is not the change we have now. Yeah, we are in change. We are not in change.
All right, everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion, and our youths, because most of the people that spoke on the Vox Pop, they are mostly youth. Some said you need to let them give us, but you said you need to take it by force.
let me just react to that. Just like internal democracy, the political parties,
Yes.
I think when you get to the leadership of any political parties, you hardly find youths occupying most of the seats. They will only have youth leader. And sometimes when you look at the youth leader, the person is above 50 years or 60 years, a youth leader.
And he's still answering.
And he's still answering youth leader in a political party. So my advice to young people, nobody is going to create that part, that position for you. It's only when you enter into that political party massively and you take what belongs to you. The election will come. You nominate your candidate. You vote for your candidate. From there, you will have say in all nooks and crannies of the political party. So that place, that internal democracy is very important for young people to engage. If they don't engage it, this is what we'll keep complaining. And secondly, someone said youths are carrying, singing.
For the politicians.
Yes, singing praises, carrying bags, knocking gongs for them and all of that, beating drums and all of that. This is where we have found ourselves. This just because poverty have, taken most of what we are doing in Nigeria. Okay? So if not poverty, tell me who will have that opportunity to be knocking ogene. At the end of the day, you never 5,000 for money say Ike. That is what they've sold their future to you. You are using them and you won't bring your child to do that same thing, which these young people are doing. So it boils down to let us, from the government side, let them improve the economy of the country and even the world at large. But why we are specific in Nigeria is where we have this ugly kind of movement about young people. It's too rampant here.
Okay, quickly conclude on what you were saying, what could be done to leverage on the full potentials of the young ones in achieving sustainable development.
So I've mentioned one, skill acquisition.
Yeah.
Two, young people getting into internal democracy of every political party. Let them not sit out and say we'll contest. The game starts from the political party before you can contest. So let them register with political parties. Any party any party of your choice, get involved. Then the next thing is education. Education is key. The government on its own should try to improve on education, no matter any level of education, kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, and all of that. Once this is done, I think we'll be able to get to where we are going. And lastly, religious leaders, traditional rulers have very big role to play, in the sense that in their community meetings, even kindred, in their community meetings, they should also have something to impact on young people. Yes, especially on drug abuse. On drug abuse. Keep it, make it a law. If there's a law like that, make it to be more serious. Engage the young people. If you do this, you get this. Like in my kindred, if we catch you, we will excommunicate you from the kindred for some years.
Okay, quickly, Barrister, what actually do you think can pose a challenge to this, and what's the way forward? Quickly, in a minute before we go.
Okay, the thing is, what can pose a challenge to this is young people not, just like someone was saying, we want that to be given to us, but then beyond just waiting for it to be given to you, you can demand for it. Demand for education, demand for good governance, demand for because it's your right. And most times, if you're waiting for it to be delivered to you on a platter of gold, it may not happen. I would end this with a statement by Honorable Justice Umezilike. He was one of the longest serving CJ in the Southeast. There was something he said with respect to this democracy, youth participation, and involvement in politics. He said that in as much as democracy is to be desired, it's our submission that it cannot grow or be nourished in a climate where the system has broken down, where there is nothing like national pride or patriotism, where there is no deterrence to kleptocracy, where there is no unity in diversity, where merit has secondary value, where education is a luxury affordable by only a few. Serious efforts to address the above questions perforce must precede inauguration of any meaningful democracy. So these issues need to be first addressed. And until this is done, Nigeria will continue to group uncertainly in the search for viable and enduring democracy. The corollary is that power will continue to fall into the hands of people who would continue to use it irresponsibly. So the summary is that at this time, youth should demand for what is theirs. And when they are doing so, invest. That's while waiting for the government to play their own part, there is a need for personal investment. I would encourage youth everywhere. Invest in yourself. Go for knowledge.
All right. You can go on and on, but our time is fast spent. We'd like to appreciate you so much, Barrister Ruth Soronadi. Thanks for your time on the show.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, Nonso Rakwe, for being here this morning.
Thank you. And I want to thank NDIF and USAID for pushing out support for young people to be more better in the society.
All right, and that's just about it on Good Morning Anambra show for today. Thank you so much, and bye for now.